we're going to get really spicy right now because we're going to go to Joshua Perry
Okay.
and talk about the NFL offseason moves. Some big moves, some moves that really didn't move the needle. So for you, JP, what are the two moves that you really like from this offseason?
First one I want to talk about, 𝗩𝗁cie Harris going to the Chargers. I feel like that one just makes a lot of sense from the stage that Harris is at in his career. I know some people feel like he's lost a little bit of pop in his legs. I think getting into an offense with a head coach who really values running the football and getting the tough yards is going to be great for him. I also think this works out really well for Justin Herbert because as good as I think he is, I do think they need a strong run game. I do think he needs to lean into play action to help open up some things down the field so he can use that big arm. This move made a ton of sense as soon as I saw it.
It really did, especially for that team and that offense.
Yeah.
And then you see them couple that with 𝗦𝗫 𝗏𝗀𝗀 going to the Dodgers on another one-year deal. Chargers will run the football.
Is that Charger Blue that you have on right now?
It might be. I played for him, so I got the Charger Blue in the closet there. The other move I wanted to talk about, 𝗬𝗍 going to the Buffalo Bills. This one intrigued me because when he's healthy, he is absolutely a game wrecker. Phenomenal player, but he hasn't always been healthy. That's the biggest thing for him. So they get good value on him with the contract that they have. And now they're adding more pieces into a team that is in a window. They've got their quarterback happy. They're working on getting some wide receivers in there for him so they can continue to open up that offense. But bolstering that defense to try to make a run at a championship while they feel like they're in the window to do so, if 𝗬𝗍 is healthy, they will have great value on the contract that they gave him.
He's essentially replacing Von Miller.
Yeah.
So you don't think he's going to have to play every snap. Situations will benefit him, especially for a guy that's been injury prone. If he can stay on the field, he's going to make that pass rush something to fear on third down.
And hopefully for _Bosa, and I'm sure the Buffalo Bills want this as well, if he can rewind the clock, stay healthy, and be a disruptor, and also maybe get after Patrick Mahomes, knowing that the Kansas City Chiefs are standing in the way. So that would be a big get for the Buffalo Bills if it works out that way. Okay, JP, what were the two moves that had you just scratching your head, just like, what's going on? What are you doing?
DK Metcalf, and really the Steelers side of this thing was one that I struggled with. And it wasn't necessarily the contract that they dealt to him. It wasn't the fact that they had to give up a second-round pick to get him. It's the idea that I look back and I say that I don't think that they're a contender in 2 or 3 years because they made this move. And that's a lot of money, and that's really valuable draft capital to give up for a guy that's not going to put you over the top as a team that can contend. So I love the player. I think he can be really good for them, but I just don't know how much it moves the needle, especially at the cost for him.
Will you change your mind if they sign Aaron Rodgers?
No, because the last time we were doing this Aaron Rodgers thing, when it was time for him to go to New York, I said I would not make that move because I don't think he makes you a championship organization, particularly at this phase in his career and with the personality that he has. So to answer your question, no, it just doesn't make sense.
And speaking of the Aaron Rodgers personality, obviously with DK Metcalf, we saw him have his situations in Seattle, so you don't want that just to explode on your sidelines. But Mike Tomlin, we know, will try and do his best to mask and cover all of that up. What about on the offensive line?
Yeah, so 𝗬𝗏 Tunsil is the Texan side of this one for me. And we had talked about this. I don't know if anybody really knew that he was a guy that could be moved. He got moved. The Texans automatically become worse on their offensive line, which was an area that they struggled. They struggled to keep C.J. Stroud upright. And so it's basically the reverse of what Washington did, who was on the other side, said we got a young quarterback, we're going to do everything to keep him upright and healthy. It's the opposite of what Chicago's done this offseason. We got a young quarterback on a cheap deal. We're going to do everything we can to protect him. And I'm curious now where the Texans are going to go, because as I look at their roster, and of course we still got the draft, their team is not better because of that move.
No way. C.J. Stroud entering year 3. It's almost as if they're preparing for him to be paid when they can offer him the mega deal, but you're sacrificing a season before you have to.
Yeah.
I don't know. 𝗬𝗏 Tunsil's a difference maker. He's going to make the Washington Commanders much better.
They just continue to add piece after piece after piece in Washington, doing a phenomenal job with that front office and bringing the right players in to help aid Jaden Daniels in his progression.
You're right about the front office and really the coaching staff and how they work together, but everybody at the top of that organization knows exactly what they're doing, and that's why you saw the way that they turned around and the way they're building right now.